Hi everyone, my name is Whitney Morrison. I am a certified financial planner and the director of financial advice at LifePlan LegalZoom. I put a post on my LinkedIn yesterday to ask you all your most pressing COVID questions. I got a lot of responses and I'm really happy to be able to work with my network of financial planners to create short videos to answer your questions. A quick disclaimer before we get started. All the information in this video is as recent as April 2nd, 2020. Things are moving very quickly, so I just want to put that out there to make that clear. And secondly, if you want to follow me because you have a question or concern coming up, please look at my LinkedIn or my Facebook. You can post directly on my wall or send me a direct message, and either myself or one of my financial planner friends will answer your question for you. So I want to go ahead and get started by reading a question from a dear friend. And in her question, she asks, is there assistance for self-employed people whose income is reduced because of the situation, but it's not absent, i.e. they're still able to do some remote work? I don't really understand how one would prove the effect on a business where monthly and yearly income normally fluctuate. So that's a great question and one that a lot of you may have. And the answer is yes, there is absolutely assistance for self-employed individuals who are experiencing reduced work. And there's assistance for self-employed individuals who are not experiencing reduced work. So this is something that I think is not clear in this question, is you don't actually have to prove that you're someone that needs this loan. As long as you are a small business that has less than 500 employees, you are eligible to apply for what is called the Paycheck Protection Program. So if you go to sba.gov, you can actually learn a lot more about this Paycheck Protection Program. Once you go there, you'll see a hero page. It talks about coronavirus and some of the resources that are available. If you click Learn More, you will actually see front and center the Paycheck Protection Program. So I want to go over more in depth some of the details of this Paycheck Protection Program. So if you're someone that is interested in this, hopefully you'll be able to take your next steps. So the Paycheck Protection Program, let's just start with what it is. It is the ability to apply for a forgivable loan for businesses to pay their employees during COVID-19. So the loan amounts will actually be forgiven as long as the following criteria is met. So first and foremost, the loan is actually used to cover payroll cost, mortgage, interest, rent, and utility costs over an 8-week period after the loan is made. That means that you have 8 weeks to actually use the loan amount, and it needs to go towards one of the expenses that I mentioned here. So mortgage, interest, rent, and utilities, that's all specific to your business, and then payroll cost. The next qualification for the loan to be forgiven is that employee and compensation levels are maintained. That means that once you get these funds, if you terminate any employees or reduce their salaries, you will that portion of the loan will not be forgivable. Another thing to consider is that payroll is capped at $100,000 per employee. So when you're looking at the maximum loan amount available, you will consider only up to $100,000 per employee. And lastly, only 25% of the amount forgiven may be used for non-payroll costs. And those non-payroll costs are the rent, the utilities, the mortgage, let's see, mortgage interest, yes. Okay, so what that means is that with the loan, you actually need to use 75% of the loan to cover your payroll cost, and 25% of the loan can go to those other expenses that are outlined above. If you are able to meet that criteria, this loan will be completely forgiven. So when can you actually start applying for this loan? So beginning April 3rd, 2020, which is tomorrow, small businesses and sole proprietorships can start applying. And starting April 10th, 2020, independent contractors and self-employed individuals can actually apply. My advice here is to do this as quickly as possible. There is a capped loan amount, and so you want to make sure to get your application in, and you have until June 30th, 2020 to make sure that you apply. All right, So where can I apply for these funds? So you can actually apply through these funds through any SBA approved lender. So you can go to sba.gov and you can get a list of their approved lenders there. And most financial institutions that are federally insured should also be able to provide these loans as well. So who can apply? So this is something that I went over in the beginning of the video, but it's any small business that has less than 500 employees. So if you're an independent contractor, a solopreneur, a self-employed professional, as long as you have less than 500 employees, you are eligible to apply for this loan, which is really great, because I don't think that a lot of the independent contractors and solopreneurs understand that this is also available to them. So how long will this program last? You got to apply before June 30th, 2020. And what can I actually use this loan for? So this is important to qualify for forgiveness. You can use this loan for a few things. First, payroll costs. So we already went over that. Second is interest on mortgage obligations incurred before February 15th, 2020. And that's important because if you got into a new lease, started paying new utilities after February 15, 2020, you cannot use this loan and have it be forgiven for those expenses. And lastly, utilities for service that begins before February 15, 2020. So what actually counts as payroll costs? So payroll costs include salary, wages, commission, and tips for sole proprietors or independent contractors, wages, commissions, incomes, or net earnings from self-employment capped at $100,000. Employee benefits are also included in here, so including costs for vacation, parental, family, medical, or sick leave, and also state and local taxes assessed on compensation. So how large can my loan be? This is a very important question that I want to answer. So I'm going to read this to you to make sure that this is as clear as possible. So loans can be for up to 2 months of your average monthly payroll cost from the year plus an additional 25% of that amount. So what you want to do is you want to look at your last 12 months of payroll. You want to get an average for your monthly amount, your average monthly amount, and you want to multiply that by 2.5, and that will be your maximum loan amount. And to qualify for forgiveness, just to go over this once again, there are a couple things that you need to do. One, you need to make sure that you use the loan amount only for payroll, mortgage interest, rent, and utilities over the 8-week period after getting the loan. So you got 8 weeks, you can only use it for those things. And also 75% of the loan needs to go towards payroll, 25% can go to the other expenses that are mentioned. So let's say you do end up having to pay the loan back because you don't meet the forgiveness for some reason. The loan needs to be paid back within 2 years, and the interest rate is 0.5%. So I highly suggest for those of you that are in a position where you need financial assistance, and even if you're not in that position, this is available to you, apply for these loans. And hopefully it's going to help a lot of you get through some of the challenging times that small businesses are facing due to COVID. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Whitney Morrison. If you'd like to follow more of my videos, you can find me on LinkedIn or Facebook, and I am happy to answer any questions you may have. Have a great day. Bye-bye.